Welcome, latest Motley Fool scoreboard. I'm on in Chock-a-Balloon. We've got longtime fools, Jose Najarro and Dan Kaplinger, giving a 1 to 10 rating to a top 50 stock in the primary hidden gems database. It's Lam Research, ticker symbol LRCX. We'll rate the strength of Lam's business first, including factors like industry and competition. 10's invincible, 1's hopeless. Dan's at an 8. Jose, you're at a 9.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 9. I mean, Lam Research is a crucial player in the manufacturing of wafer fabrication or kind of chips in general, right? There's various processes in the chip manufacturing step, and they play a crucial role in things like etching and things like depositions, which all help kind of make chips smaller and work more efficient. And with the current kind of market where AI chips need to get better, they need to get more efficient, memory chips need to get better, they need to get more efficient, you can have this nice tailwind for Lam Research. So I'm giving it a 9.
Yeah, I'll admit, Lam Research definitely a key player in what is becoming an increasingly vital part of the supply chain for semiconductor manufacturing. Those chips are in huge demand right now, and those chip makers, they need to make sure Lam Research is helping them out to the biggest extent possible. I do ding them a little bit just because that business has tended to be cyclical in the past, at least a little bit. But even there, I'll admit, Lam's done probably a better job than a lot of its peers in the semiconductor industry navigating that. So really close on that 8 versus 9, I have to say.
For management, a 10 is Warren Buffett, a 1 is Homer Simpson. Both of you have 8s this time, Jose.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8. Just the experience of the team, right? Just the semiconductor, like Dan mentioned, is very cyclical. Lam has gone through a lot of these cycles. They've done really well. They've increased their, not just their hardware equipment sales, but they've also increased their kind of subscription service pretty much of the maintenance of it, which helps this company stay afloat or free cash flow positive during down cycles. And the CEO, 13 years here, has delivered some amazing ruling and sentiment towards Lam Research, as the company has now become a very crucial player in the memory space. And the memory market, as we know, has become extremely popular due to chip shortage demand.
Yeah, I think that it's easy to downplay how hard it is to, with a big company like this, to move to capture new opportunities. And they've done a really good job here of, look, artificial intelligence, yeah, in hindsight, it seems like this obvious play, but actually getting yourself in position to take full advantage of it, a lot more difficult than it seems. Management here has done a really good job of that. That's why I was comfortable giving it an 8 as well.
Right. For financials, a 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes. Both of you have 9s, Jose.
Yeah, again, it goes back with the cyclicality of the space. How has this company managed it in the past? Right now, they have about 1.8x more cash than debt, with healthy free cash flow. Like I mentioned, due to the maintenance service solutions, they're able to get revenue even during a down cycle in the equipment. Revenue was up 22% last quarter. Again, they're very crucial in the memory space, and we've heard from companies like Micron, like SK Hynix, like Samsung, that the memory market is, you need to improve those yields. Memory is definitely a bottleneck in the AI space. So strong balance sheet and a strong growth opportunity, at least for the next few months. I'm giving it a 9 here for Lam Research.
And I went 9 as well, and I'll just tell you and the other fools, Jose put his scores up first, so if anybody's copying, it's me, but there's a reason I went 9 here. There's some companies in this space, they have plenty of good profits, but those profits have been lumpier through the cyclical ups and downs in the industry. Lam, on the other hand, they have found ways. Yes, sure, some years their revenue's been stronger than other years, but they have found a way to become increasingly profitable, even through some of those down phases. I got to respect that. Also have plenty of net cash on the balance sheet to deal with both strategic opportunities as well as investing in its own business to increase capacity. That's why I'm willing to go all the way to 9 on this one.
Dan, let's talk valuation. How well will Lam stock do over the next 5 years? How safe is it? 10's a sure thing, 1's a lottery ticket.
I went 5 to 10% here with pretty high safety score of 7. I'm a little bit worried here. Just now, Lam is announced capacity expansion plans that are going to take some investment. that's not unusual. Pretty much everybody in the industry is doing it here. They're expecting the AI boom to last longer than past cycles. I do admit that's possible. I don't think that it's certain at this point. And so I think my 5 to 10% acknowledges the fact that odds are pretty good we're going to get a pullback in AI spending within this 5-year window. If that happens, I think that the stock does see somewhat of a pullback from the growth rate that it's had in the past.
Yeah, actually very similar to Dan here, 5 to 10%. I would say for the same reason. I mean, I think there's the opportunity for AI to continue to grow. At least we're hearing that from the big players right now. But within the 5 years, that's not a certain thing that is going to continue. And we could see a pull down. For that reason, the safety score also kind of mirrors that. I feel if you guys have been watching the previous shows as well, where we've done other equipment players, I'm giving it that same safety score of 6. Main reason is, even though I don't think we're at the top of this spending cycle, I think we're just a little bit over that 50%. So I'm giving it a 6. But all the good things is the company does know how to manage a cycle and is able to report some free cash flow positive even when things go bad.
Thanks to both Jose and to Dan. They've given Lam Research a strong overall score of 7.4 out of 10. For top hits, Dan prefers ASML despite valuation concerns. But Jose doesn't really prefer any other mega cap equipment companies to Lam Research. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is something good, I promise. Till then, Fool on.